Welcome. This is David Bowles, Human Meme. Today's topic, the moral society.
It does me good to hear that. It gives me hope. You might credit what I'm going to tell you. You know it already anyhow. You know human beings have to bear up and face whatever's meant to be. There's a courage and dignity in ordinary people that can be breathtaking, but you're the opposite. Your courage has gone wild. You're like a brute that can only foam at the mouth. You aren't bearing up. You are bearing down. Anybody that ever tries to help you just gets savaged.
Seamus Heaney, The Cure at Troy. Well, my human meme friend, if we want society to continue, we must find and then honor a shared moral core. It does us no good if only some of us are moral, while the others of us vulture off of our morality to enhance their lack of morality. A false morality is a true deception. We all must be moral, or the code of conduct that we need from each other has no binding of merit or substance. Morality is not religion. Morality is not legal. Morality is not enforceable. Morality is not democratic or socialistic. No, morality is something that must be freely given. You cannot take morality. You cannot earn morality. You cannot give morality to someone else. Morality is unique and special and sacred, and we know the definition of morality if and when we see it. Morality is more valuable than gold and less appreciated than friendship. Morality is what drives us forward as a people. And the most immoral among us pretend to be the most moral among us. And we, the actually moral, rarely call the other people out on their outsider duplicity. And those immoral folk pride themselves on giving the most immoral and most nefarious people second chances, because they, the immoral, preach to us that everyone deserves a second chance. And to those, we, the moral, must ask of them, the immoral, well, just how many chances have you been given? And more surely than the sun rises in the east, they will reply, perhaps even honestly, that yes, they have been the beneficiary of multiple changes, several do-overs. They are the most excellent professional at forcing a social, moral mulligan. And so why must we, the moral, why must we listen to them? Them, the immoral, who repeatedly violate our shared moral code by begging forgiveness of their ongoing immorality. And then they only redistribute that forgiveness to others who are just as undeserving as they of our most coveted compassions. Isn't it compelling and funny that the worst of us demand the best of us, but they never demand the best of themselves? Yes, they wallow in the grossness of the human condition, and they celebrate their every effort to beat the system to best consequence, and to chain forgiveness gifted to them to others just like them, so those others will be indebted to them for the resultant loss of moral clarity. And you know these people, the immoral, who steal from the poor to enrich themselves. They, the immoral, those who cheat on their wives in the broom closet at work, and then claim divinity at home, in the bed. Yes, them, the immoral, who perpetually smile while stabbing us in the back. And then they just claim, well, they have been vaccinated when they are not, and they just want to decay the rest of us with their bad behavior, for their fun of it. And they do this because life to them is just a game about getting ahead, about beating the other guy, about rubbing noses in their failures. Oh yes, they get a thrill from dirtying others with their rank deeds and dismissive denials. And for those of us who value morality in society, we are faced with a choice. Do we continue to allow those immoral people, they, them, the purposeful posers, to rule us? To ruin us, really? Or do we stand up against them, united as one, and publicly call them out on their wrongdoing? Why must we always be those who must forgive? Why must we always overlook? Why must we never be given a second chance by those who never demand a second chance, except for themselves? We don't need a second chance because we haven't done anything wrong. Yet we are still expected to provide that sort of forgiveness to them without question or pause. We, the moral, are not the better people. We, the moral, are not superior or supreme. We, the moral, are just trying to make our way in a life that is dangerous, distraught, and detonating. And my human being friend, unfortunately, as hard as we try, we cannot defeat the immoral. There are just too many of them. We cannot dissolve the immoral. But we are slowly beginning to realize we cannot live with them either, because they cannot be trusted to ever do the right thing for the rest of us. So now, what then? I suppose one way out of the moral morass is to simply ignore their intentional provocations. Shun them, even, unless and until they turn around and become real people with some sort of reliable moral core, and not just puppets of the tragic human experience. And I know that plan can be difficult to implement because many families and communities are made up of a majority of the not moral. And morality is not about being perfect or even good. Morality is simply about being neutral. It's about doing no harm. And if that means we all have to be just a little bit better and a little bit kinder to each other, then that's the way it should be in every waking moment. The successful effort to be better, not best. Be best? No, just be a little bit better. Better is more than good enough. Better is always more beneficial than any failed effort at goodness. Success arrives in results, not promises. We are quite aware the human animal is flawed and feral, and if we hope to better ourselves and be better to each other, then we must begin the slow and challenging process of holding each other to account for both our private and shared behaviors. We don't have to judge. We do not have to berate. But we do need to have a basic expectation of kindness from each other, and never any sort of cruelty. Lying, deceit, stealing, harm, murder, those are the hallmarks of a dying society where morality is mocked and not actively pursued. Peace, thoughtfulness, mindfulness, hope, anticipation, dreaming, those are all the pinnacles of a reachable moral core that lifts up a community into being a joyous and meaningful place that matters in the history of people getting along enough together to safely live and divinely die together as one. The results of a moral life are left behind in the legacy of the people who are working hard to achieve a neutral buoyancy in the world, where everything matters and nothing is crushed or cursed in the rush to make a life worth leaving. Thank you for listening. Be a human meme.